Hey everybody, we're coming at you today with another quick vacuum go over here. I've got a Riccar RS, what the heck is this? Now I'm drawing a blank on the model number. It is the R10CV 0.4, so 4th generation. So this guy right here is one of our courtesy vacuums, as you can see right here. So we lend these out to customers, particularly customers who buy a vacuum from us, either Riccar, Simplicity, Miele, Sevo. If they buy a vacuum from us and they need warranty work or one of their free services, we try to have vacuums in stock to give them as a courtesy to make sure that they can keep on cleaning. So these guys here are part of our fleet. This particular vacuum is actually fairly old. Let's take a look at when it was manufactured. It was manufactured March of 2018, so it's over 2 years old now, 2.5 years old. So this has really been through the ringer. It's been run hard, you know, been through a lot of folks, and this thing is still running like a champ. In fact, it is still on its first battery. So we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna clean this up real quick so that it's clean for the next customer. We are also going to check out this battery as well. So this is kind of the R10CV's big claim to fame, is this gigantic battery. If we look at the specs here on the side, it's 124.8 watt hours. It's a big battery at 43.8 volts, so 44 volts is what they advertise this as. Pretty redonkulously big, you know. And let's see if this guy has any charge. He does. Looks like he's got about 3/4 of a charge. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to set this vacuum to the side real quick. If I remember correctly, yeah, this just comes right out like that. So what we have in this battery pack is we have a bunch of stuff going on in here. You can see right here, we got a bunch of cells. We've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cells. And then we've got the circuit board, of course, right here. Got a little sticky cover right here to protect it. I won't get that dirty. So if we zoom in here, I don't know what kind of magic Riccar is doing with these, but these are really reliable batteries. I've sold a bunch of these machines. I've had a bunch of them as courtesy vacuums, and I can attest that I've not had a single bad battery pack, which is a lot to say for a cordless machine. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm able to vouch. I mean, everything's potted with this black material here, so we're not really able to see a whole lot of what's going on, but we do know that it's a well-controlled system. We do have some protections here for heat as well, and balanced charging, so you can see where each different length has balanced outs. So that looks fantastic. So this is a really good battery pack. In terms of the pack that it is using a Samsung 18650 29E. The 29E is the model that it's using. So I believe the one that I took apart previously, which might have been part of a previous iteration, there's been R10CV 1, 2, 3, and now we're on 4. I believe the other one that I took apart had Samsung 25Rs in it, and these are 29Es. Doesn't really matter. Samsung makes fantastic cells. They're part of the big four. When you're looking for a vacuum battery pack, you want to, number one, look at the construction, right? So we've got a big, well-cooled circuit board. We've got thermal protection. We've got balanced charging on it. All of that helps the battery pack last longer. It keeps it away from heat. There's plenty of room here to dissipate heat. There's a lot of negative space here in the back so that it doesn't build up a lot of heat. Heat is the enemy of batteries. So this is great that it has that much ventilation. In addition, the balanced charging also makes sure that each individual cell is monitored while it is being charged so that there's not any under or over current happening with regard to a cell. So, and they're using a top quality cell, meaning from one of the top four manufacturers, those being Samsung, LG, Sony Murata. Sony was sold to Murata, their battery division was, and Panasonic Sanyo. Those are kind of the big four that we look for when we're looking at battery packs. So overall, I'd have to say that this is by far one of the most impressive battery packs that I've ever encountered in terms of reliability, and just wanted to show that to you guys. Does have this reflective foam right here, not foam, foil right here, for purposes of reflecting any heat back. Yeah. So again, just to reiterate, there's a reason why these are lasting in the field as well as they do. When you look at this battery pack versus, you know, even ones from some of the major manufacturers, like the ones that we've taken apart from Dyson, the Dyson Genuine batteries that we've taken apart, this is a cut above in terms of the ventilation for the circuit board, the ventilation for the cells, the number of cells, and just the way that they've spaced this out. This is just a superior design, and obviously it comes at a price, right? This is a big battery pack. So you can't fit this on, like, say, a hand vac, but for something like the R10CV, I would not be afraid of buying this and thinking that the battery is going to go out in a year. That just has simply not been my experience. When you go to charge the vacuum, it's charged from this port right here. Everything takes place right here, including the balanced charging. So really great battery pack. Okay, back to the guest of the day. Guest of honor, as it were. So the R10CV is the cordless model of the R10 line, which is largely made up of corded machines. So the design and basic form factor of these guys has been around since probably the mid-2000s, if not earlier. So really well proven in the field, I guess. So there have been a lot of updates to make them more current, obviously, like with adding a battery pack. And they've done, incremental upgrades as well. And they have just proven, especially with the incremental upgrades, to be very reliable machines in the lightweight category. I would put this above anything that Oric is currently making, most definitely. Now, that is, a lot of that is due to the fact that TTI now owns Oric, and they're kind of stripping it for parts and profit, and the machines just aren't what they used to be under David Oric. So, sad state of affairs. So, we'll just do a quick wipeout. This doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of hair here, and we'll clean that off as well for the next customer. Alright, so now we're down inside the machine itself. We're going to go ahead and clean up some of this pet hair, etc. We do see the circuit board for the LED headlights. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit there. We do see the circuit board for the LED headlights. This also includes the motor control as well, the sending unit for the motor. The motor is not the same motor that comes in the corded machines, obviously. This one is running on DC power, from the battery at 44 volts. So it doesn't spin as fast as the corded machine, so it doesn't clean at quite the same level. That being said, this cleans a lot better than a lot of corded machines I've seen in my day, especially cheaper corded machines. You know, for being a cordless machine, I would hands down say that this cleans the best. And that's not just me who says that. I mean, if you check out any other vacuum related channel who's talked about the R10CV, most particularly if you check out the review by Vacuum Wars, you'll see that it does extremely well in the pickup tests. So, you know, particularly on carpet. So if you're looking for something cordless and convenient, that you know, still cleans well, this is a really good option. Now, one thing I will say is this maybe not the best option, and really no cordless machine really is the best option at this point if you have severe allergies. This only has one layer of filtration. It does have a HEPA bag up here, but it is only one layer of filtration. I like to see multiple layers of high quality filtration for allergy sufferers. But for the average user who doesn't suffer from severe allergies, this filtration will be more than sufficient. While I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and loop over a new belt. Now, one thing to know about these Riccars that do not have the lifetime belt, they do make a model that's not cordless that does have the lifetime belt, several models of this machine with the lifetime belt. The cordless machine does have a rubber belt. So these guys really should be replaced every 6 months or so. Because Riccar has such an aggressive brush roll action, I tend to notice that these start to slip, you know, pretty quickly. The nice thing is this is a toolless belt change design, really easy to get in and out of. You can do it in, you know, no more than 3 to 5 minutes, and then you're good to go. And a belt, you know, costs what, $250, something like that. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and replace this while we're in here. Now, this belt really wasn't in bad shape. It's got a little bit of stretching, but it doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary. There are a couple little nicks in it where somebody might have sucked up an area rug or something like that, so we're going to go ahead and replace it anyway. Go ahead and pop that on there, and now we'll go ahead and cover this guy up. Alright, so you really at no point should have to get underneath the hood. Again, this is only for your information, not for repair purposes. If you ever have trouble with your Riccar, take it to your authorized dealer so we can look at it. But obviously, you can change the belt from here typically. If you do have one of these and you need to change the belt, you would just change it by looping it through down there, and then I'll show you the rest of it here in a second. Alright, so those are about ready to go back together. All we need to do is get the belt, or get the brush roll cleaned up. So there's not a whole lot of buildup on this guy, so we're just going to go ahead and take a quick hook here. Now this particular unit is old enough that it uses the old wood brush roll, which was original to some of the earlier models. This is the R10CV .4. We are now up to the R10CV .6. Again, Riccar is really excellent about doing incremental upgrades as they see things that might make the machine better. Not necessarily addressing problems, but just improving, right? And one thing that they have done with the newer machines is they have added a one of their signature chrome steel brush rolls to this machine, and that is a really great upgrade and a great value. Not saying that there's anything wrong with these wood brush rolls. They're well balanced, but they are not as impervious to hair wrapping around the brush roll and getting into the bearings. The chrome steel ones are almost impossible. It's really tough to get hair into the bearings of those chrome steel ones. This one here, it is definitely more likely because your bearing is right here. Now this one doesn't have any wrapping. This one looks good. We are going to go ahead and just add a quick drop of Teflon infused oil right there to the seal. Let that drip down inside. Again on this side. I don't take these apart and lubricate them with grease because once you break that seal, you run the risk of contaminating the bearing with more debris. So better to leave the seal in place unless you absolutely have to get in there. But these are clean on the ends, no hair wrapping. A lot of that's due to the fact that we look at these every time that they come in. But again, newer models do have that chrome steel brush roll, which again is a great upgrade and a great value, and just you know, just a sign that Riccar is, you know, constantly trying to improve. Spinning nice and free, no wiggle. I think we're in good shape. So to put the new belt on, what we do is we just loop the brush roll through like this. Pull this back, and it will be tight, so just be aware that you will really have to pull. If you run into issues with it, you can always heat it up with a hair dryer. That's an option. There we go. And there's a lobed side and a flat side. Flat side goes towards the carpet. So flat side of the brush roll goes towards the carpet. That's the correct way to go. We're going to go ahead and throw this on. Notice I said toolless belt change and brush roll cleaning. There are two screw heads here that you can use a screwdriver for. If you don't have a screwdriver handy, you can absolutely use a quarter or a nickel, some sort of change, to just turn these 1/4 turn, and that locks and unlocks them. So very easy to get in and out of. While I'm under here, I'm going to go ahead and add just a drop of oil to the wheels, just so that they are well lubricated. Only one drop, very, very little. You don't want to contaminate somebody's floor. Yeah, these ones feel okay. Alright, now we're going to flip this guy over, and we are going to check the bag real quick. Now this has a really large HEPA bag. One stage of filtration, like I was talking about. So I would say that this is very good filtration, but perhaps not the absolute best for someone who suffers from allergies. I would have no problem using this in my home with one of these HEPA bags though, even though I do have seasonal allergies. So you can see the capacity on this is just absolutely gigantic. This covers up the dust from getting back out into the room. And we're just gonna go ahead and discard this and put a new one in. So now we're gonna go ahead and just take this side, and we're going to slide it into the bracket here. And we are going to push down until it clicks. There we go. And now we're going to push backwards until it clicks. There we go. All right, now that is all set. Now that vacuum bag was not very full. If it was my vacuum at home, I wouldn't have been replacing it yet. Since this is going to be going out to a customer's home, we want to make sure that that has a fresh bag and doesn't have somebody else's dirt and grime in it. So there are a couple paint marks on this. I'm not going to worry about it. It will tend to get paint marks, and when and if we take these out of circulation, gosh, it's been 2.5 years now. They've definitely done well for us. At that point, when we take them out of circulation, we'll start taking some of the scuff marks off. So what we're going to do now is we've got everything taken care of. We've got it detailed. We're going to go ahead and I do have the battery charging right now. I'm going to take the battery off the charger and I'm going to pop it on the back here. I'll show you how that's done. So all this does is there's 2 contacts right here. Go with the 2 contacts right there. Just push down and in and pop into place. And now it is locked. All right, so let's test this out. 2.5 years later, abuse, this thing just keeps on chugging. If you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you can check out more vacuum videos. If you have questions about this vacuum or any others, please feel free to reach out. We're House of Vacuums in Lynchburg, Virginia, and we'll be happy to talk with you further about that. And we'll see you next time.